I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work. Thomas A. Edison. And Thomas Edison was a master at creating, a master inventor because he refused to give up. He would chew on a plan, on a device, on a machine until he figured it out. He never allowed failure to come into the picture. That is exactly, my friends, what I encourage you to have, that same kind of attitude that Thomas Edison, still regarded today as one of the greatest inventors of all time. Someone asked him where he would be if he had not come up with the filament he finally did for the light bulb. And he said, I'd still be in my lab. I would be there until I found it. I hope you will have that kind of commitment, because if you do, you will succeed. There is no stopping you. So 10 to 15 minutes a day, that is all we ask. We see everything down for the day but Bitcoin. Let's start off with the S&P 500 down 0.72% for the day. A little pesky that we have a green spinning top. Now this is solid green. It's almost a doji. It's a slowdown in that down movement, although things were down 0.72%. We can see we've not hit the lows of the prior week. Price percent oscillator still going down. Derivative oscillator heading down today. We look a little closer. Again, these are Heikin Ashi candlesticks, lots of indecision in the morning. And you see the price percent oscillator still going down. Derivative oscillators losing downward momentum. So we're seeing a devolution in that strong power move down. So we'll continue to watch, pay attention, look at the half day. This is where we see the intraday action, where it can clear up some confusion from the Heikin Ashi candlesticks on our bigger candles. We can see the layover from where things popped up on Thursday and slowly devolving and crushing down at the end of the day, bouncing off that weekly, look at it, that weekly trend line, just moving right off of it. Price percent oscillator still positive, and the derivative oscillator too. Both are losing momentum on this half-day intraday chart. So that's why it's important we say all the charts all the time, so you understand the interplay between the Heikin Ashi candlesticks. And I'll put that Heikin Ashi training at the end of today's video just so you understand how you relate to these candles. It's not high open, low close. It's measured differently, but it allows us to see, it gives us early warnings of problems. Heikin Ashi in Japanese, I'm told, means average pace, and it shows you how that is slowing, gaining, devolving, increasing, sliding sideways. It gives you a feel for that. So very important. Down day, again, good to see with the crossover that we are dealing with right now in the down direction. The Qs down a little bit more than the S&P 500, 0.77%. And again, solid green candle forming. We have price below that weekly trend line. Price percent oscillator, derivative oscillator heading down on that weekly chart. Today, you see after the prior two-day candle that ended on Thursday, this one represents Friday and Monday. It again is a green open box candle. You can see the price percent oscillator still going quite negative, derivative oscillator negative. You can see where price is bumping up on that two-day trend line. We look at the half day, and again, that is where you see where things bumped up on Thursday and slowly started devolving and are moving right down that two-day trend line. Price percent oscillator still positive and derivative oscillator positive on the half-day chart, but price is moving in the right direction. That is where we are on our stock charts. We'll now go to bonds, down for the day 0.25%, starting the week off quite nicely. Red down candle forming, price percent oscillator, derivative oscillator. We had that weekly vertical crossover at the end of, well, the first day of October. So the beginning of October, we see that, and of course the prior movement had been all that last week in September. And of course, that really started our down move in bonds, price percent oscillator, derivative oscillator. Let's look at the two-day. What do we see there? Again, moving just nicely. Nice big red down candle pushing on down. Derivative oscillator, price percent oscillator, half-day chart moving down quite nicely. Again, bonds moving in the right direction, that is the down direction. We don't like to see things go down unless, of course, we are tracking them down and shorting them, which is exactly what our practice move has been. Now let's go to gold that I keep hoping will rally. I just always like to be bullish on gold, but it's quite bearish. Look at gold. Crossed over, going down back on the week ending the 17th of September. Down strong 2 following weeks. Sideways, starting the week off. A little bit of a red down candle, price percent oscillator, derivative oscillator still gaining downward momentum. 2-day chart. Nice to see that that has some green in it, trying to move up. And again, this is the Friday, Monday candle. We see the price percent oscillator a little less than, well, okay, it's negative, it's heading up, it's still negative. Derivative oscillator losing downward momentum. What about that half-day chart? Well, you see 1.5 days of down movement, trying to cross over at the end of the day, maybe just barely doing that, maybe not. Let's look. Maybe well, it's laminated. I might have been a little premature in putting in the down movement there, but we'll see. No big deal on that on the half-day chart. So we'll continue to keep our eye on gold. I keep hoping gold's going to take off moving up, but it ain't happening yet. What is moving up? Bitcoin, 5.41%. We see the price percent oscillator pulling away from the red signal line. Derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum. Bitcoin flying up 57, 528.50. And what do we see? You know, we had that 2-day recross, didn't we? We had that 2-day recross somewhere at the, and again, I'm not going to try to call it on the Heikin-Ashi candlestick because it's not accurate. It shows 51,977. I'm not going to convert my charts over, and I'm not going to try to tell you what it is, except we have a nice 2-day up candle, 5% alone up for the day. So that looks pretty decent, doesn't it? Yes, if you want to learn how to chart Bitcoin, then you should practice with us. Bitcoin heading up, derivative oscillator and the price percent oscillator flipped over at the same time. Quite nice. And we look at the half day. What do we see there? Bitcoin moving up on Monday quite nicely. That's where we are, folks, as we end the day. Thank you so much for being with us. God bless. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters. Thank you for your support, buying the book and the Patreon memberships with all the great benefits. Check them out. God bless.